UFC 308 has officially been announced by Dana White. Dana announces 6 fights for the main card of UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi, and the card is stacked. Topuria will defend his UFC featherweight title against Max Holloway at UFC 308 on October 26. About to find out why Holloway is the best boxer in the UFC. Max Holloway has only lost to one man at 145 in the last 10 years. UFC has rebooked unbeaten Hamza Chimaev versus former champ Robert Whittaker in the co-main event of UFC 308. I feel like if Hamza pulls out of this one, he will get the Mokaev treatment. Sandhagen versus Alexander Volkov 2 added in the card on October 26th in the heavyweight bout. Magomedov and Makhachev will not get Alex Pereira and will instead face Alexander Rakis in Abu Dhabi. The UFC make everything to not give Magomedov and Makhachev a title shot, therefore Rakis getting a title contender fight after that loss to Jiri Prochazka. Also in the card, Geoff Neal will fight former champ Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 308 on October 26 in the welterweight bout, and Dan Ige will fight Lerone Murphy in the featherweight bout. A few other fights have also been announced, including Rob Font will take on Kyler Phillips at UFC Vegas 99 on October 19th in the bantamweight bout. Calvin Kattar out of the fight against Kyle Nelson. Nelson will now fight Steve Garcia at UFC Vegas 97 on September 7th in the featherweight bout. Dan Hooker has announced that he has signed a new 5-fight deal with the UFC. Umar Nurmagomedov called for a title shot and told his haters to cry after beating Cory Sandhagen. Another day of Nurmagomedov making their haters shut. The MMA world reacts to Umar Nurmagomedov's win at UFC Abu Dhabi. Dana White confirms Umar Nurmagomedov will fight the winner of Sean O'Malley vs Merab Dvalishvili. O'Malley cannot catch a break with these wrestlers. Guy is probably gagging for a striker next. Cory Sandhagen reacts to his loss to Umar Nurmagomedov at UFC Abu Dhabi. He thought Umar Nurmagomedov has the future champ after fighting for 25 minutes. Umar outstucks one of the best strikers in bantamweight while mixing in the grappling. He's really damn good. Striking with Cory and winning so many exchanges is impressive. Sean O'Malley quickly reacts to Davison Figueiredo saying he's coming for the bag. I don't understand Chito, like that was a winnable fight for him. He just never does enough. Tony Ferguson gives a non-retirement after his record-setting loss UFC Abu Dhabi. Tony says he's not done and will look at doing something else. Tony Ferguson laid one glove down in the octagon but says he will consider a return after talking with his family. Tony the type of dude to match his losing streak to his winning streak before retiring. How will you remember Tony Ferguson? Khabib Nurmagomedov only had praises for his former rival Tony Ferguson. Khabib tells Tony that 40 years is only the beginning and he wishes him best of luck. Truly what we all waited for. Shara Bullet explains why he wants to face Nick Diaz. What the F you wanna fight with old man Nick Diaz? Let him retire. Marvin Vettori calls out Shara Bullet Magomedov. This fight better than the old man versus Shara Magomedov. Joel Alvarez bludgeons Elvis Banner and immediately calls out King Green at UFC Abu Dhabi. Dana White is not down for an Alex Pereira move to heavyweight just yet. Then who is he fighting? If it's not Makhachev, it better not be Olberg. Dana White is not happy about how the rankings have John Jones right now. Dana White says he believes if Belal Muhammad continues to win, eventually fans will be forced to respect him. The welterweight trash talk continues. Belal Muhammad welcomes a matchup against Kamaru Usman. Belal Muhammad reacts to Leon Edwards and his coach's excuses. Belal Muhammad responds to Alexander Volkanovski. Belal gonna be pound for pound number 1 in no time. Muhammad Mokaev expresses his desire to re-sign from the UFC. Muhammad Mokaev asked Hunter Campbell to fight for free in his next fight. Also, he says that he learned his lessons and wants to come back to the UFC. This 24-year-old man really wants it. Hopefully, he will be back in the UFC. Terence Crawford says he was ready for months for a rematch against Spence. I know a lot of folks who still say Spence will win a rematch. Turki Al-Sheikh says if the Canelo Crawford fight happens, it would take place in a big stadium in Las Vegas or in Saudi Arabia. A future fight between Jared Anderson and Deontay Wilder would be must-see. At this point in Wilder's career, I don't see that being a big win for any up-and-coming heavyweight. We gotta see the battle of the big babies first. And that's all, guys. We will see you in the next video in which we will talk about some more news related to MMA, so till then do whatever you want.